Hello everybody and welcome back to NCAA 2004, and we are back once again with some more Alabama Crimson Tide Dynasty mode here with Sick Nabin. And now we have another massive game on our hands. So after we beat Texas to open our season, ranked I believe 6th in the nation, we now play the number 7th ranked team in the nation, the Fresno State Bulldogs. So I thought the Bulldogs had been a little bit more of a perennial team than they really truly are, but they're coming into this game early on in the season with the number 1 ranked offense in the country. So whatever first game they did play and they won, they absolutely dropped the points and the yardage down on whoever they played. So probably could have looked at it, but either way, it's the WAC. It's not a tough conference. I don't assume it was a conference game, but you get what I'm saying. They don't play a tough schedule. I know the Fresno State doesn't. They don't play a schedule like we're playing, that's for sure. But I thought Fresno State was a little bit more tougher than they have been. But they've only won the WAC 3 times in the 8 completed seasons that we've done of this sim. They've only won the WAC 3 times. So they've had a few more seasons of over 10 wins where they didn't win the WAC, but they ended up finishing ranked in the top 25 and the top 15, somewhere in there. And you know, that's about it. But that was really all in the last 4 or 5 seasons. The first couple seasons, Fresno State really wasn't anywhere to be found in the research I was doing for this video. But they have definitely established themselves here in the most recent seasons, including being the reigning national champions. They won the Fiesta Bowl last year against Texas and won the BCS national titles. So much like us, their national titles count all the same. So we have 2, they have 1 in the sim. So Fresno State definitely is a formidable opponent, especially heading into this game, being ranked number 7. So we will see how the boys from the WAC give us any kinds of trouble. And already they're making mistakes, fumbling the football here in their own end. Looked like a fullback dive and maybe to Stanford Crowell, but either way it's a fumble, and yeah, I think that was Stanford Crowell who fumbled the football for Fresno State, and that one gets recovered I think by Harold Frazier maybe. So fast forward to a 2nd and 2 now for the Crimson Tide. Barton back to pass now, looks over his options, floats one across the middle to Thomas Samples, who had such an amazing first game of the year last week against Texas. And he already gives himself another reception in this game here, looking to beat some totals from last year. So on 3rd and goal here, we're going to give it to Dimitri Lyman, who also had himself a nice game last week, gets himself into the end zone for the first touchdown of the game against Fresno State. So now our running back checks himself in. I think I'm already pretty happy about the change that we've made in the running back position. But 3rd and 2 for Fresno State here, trying to answer us back, and it's going to be a handoff to the running back, James Roll, who gets the first down here, and Fresno State's going to continue their drive heading into our own end. So our defense has to tighten up here late in the first quarter if at all possible. And on 1st and 10, we're going to try some trickery here with a halfback pass, and it's actually going to get completed now, as it looks like James Roll was able to find an open Bulldog receiver downfield for a nice completion. So the Bulldogs are going to continue once again. And now on 2nd and 16 after a negative play, their quarterback, Corey Newman, is able to launch a ball towards the end zone. It's going to be Marley Crenshaw who comes down with it. I think Crenshaw caught the last pass from the running back as well, but on this one here, it is all Corey Newman, the quarterback, the senior, and he's able to find Marley Crenshaw, the new receiver for Fresno State. He is a freshman, so they have a freshman topping their receiver depth chart. And now we are heading the other way, and on an option play, we're going to pitch this one off to Lehman, and Lehman's got some open space on the outside edge here, and it's a foot race towards the end zone, and a foot race that he is going to win, and it's another rushing touchdown for our brand new starter at the running back position, man. And again, I was just saying on our first drive how much I enjoy that switch that we made at the running back position. And I think it's paying off a lot. And we've already seen a couple plays where we run the option. Sick Nabin loves to run the option every now and then with these quarterbacks, but we don't always have a very fast quarterback. So in the case of Ryan Barton, he's just good to pitch it off perfectly and draw the blockers towards him, which is exactly what he did on that play, freeing space up for Dimitri Lyman to get into the end zone. So 14-7 is your score after 1 quarter of play. Fresno State short yardage situation on a 3rd and 3, and our defense gets in there to prevent the first down. I couldn't quite see exactly who it was. It looks like Dominic Whitten. That's who it looked like. That's certainly who it looked like. He might have been out there on that package here. That's certainly what it looked like. But now on a 4th down situation, Fresno State going to risk it for the biscuit here, keep the offense on the field. And that was a handoff. I couldn't tell if it was to Roll or Crowell, but either way, they're going to get the first down. It was definitely James Roll, the sophomore, who was able to get the first down for Fresno. So Fresno's going to continue to move here on 1st and 10. And now Newman lays one up here, just a prayer of a ball, completely overthrows that football. I don't know where he was exactly aiming towards. afterwards, but that was just an errant pass that Tyler Kennedy, the sophomore strong safety, making his first season as a starter at strong safety for us. He gets himself his first interception of the year off of Newman. So now Barton with a dangerous pass to Max Price, which is caught. That was another dangerous ball here. But Price was able to cut that one off and at least get the reception. So 1st and 10 here for the Crimson Tide once again. Barton going to go with a handoff to Lehman, who's got just enough of a step here to outpace these defenders towards the first down markers. Can't quite get there, but he gets within at least a yard or so. So as long as he's averaging like 8 or 9 yards a carry, I don't think we have anything to be worried about with him. It's definitely better than what J.J. Wright was providing. So now to the 2-minute warning here on 2nd and inches. Barton feels the pressure immediately and decides to keep it himself and runs for the first down here. Gets himself a little bit more than that. So I wouldn't expect Barton to be a huge running threat for anyone here or for us to really put a pin in it. But hey, that was a heads-up play by Barton. So I like to see that, man. 3rd and 1 now. And we're going to hand this one off to Lehman, and he gets tripped up immediately. So it looks like maybe he would have had it, but they're going to say he was short. And now with just a minute left to go, Naben's not going to play any type of risky football. He's just going to send out John Bellamy to finish off this drive, take a 10-point lead over Fresno State here. This is another high-power team, regardless of their conference. This is still, the reigning national champions, so we have to be smart about the way that we take our points here. So, but Fresno State with another chance before the half is over, and Newman is giving up more goodies to our defense here. As this time now, it is another interception, man. Another interception for the Crimson Tide defense. We got this one going the other way. So now Barton here looking to pass, hoping to add to this lead here, and he dumps this one off over to Max Price, who catches it and is immediately knocked down. So with 20 seconds left here, we're racing against the clock. Barton gets rid of one here, and that one's nearly intercepted. He tried to hit Andrew Solomon, and that pass was broken up by a big Fresno State linebacker, so that'll stop the momentum here. 2nd and 10 with 16 seconds left to go. Barton back to pass once again. Pressure is on, and it comes off the edge. Barton doesn't see it, and I mentioned in the Texas game, man, if he holds onto the football a little bit too long, that might be an issue that we start seeing. And right there, that was a prime example of that, man, just hanging on to the ball. And now the kick, the attempt here for Bellamy is going to be a lot further back here, with just 4 seconds left to go. And now Bellamy making a pretty long kick, but he is more than good enough to do it now, man. He has definitely had 4 years to hone that craft, hone his ability here. I think he's up to an 8.8 overall, and he's definitely flexing that leg a bit. So 20-7 over Fresno State now after one half of play. Our defense doing absolutely everything that they're supposed to be doing here. We can't be super upset with anything. And now we have a 4th and 6 to start off in the second half here in no man's land. And Barton takes a bad sack once again. And that time, I don't think it was too much of his fault, as that pressure was really coming off the edge for Fresno State. There wasn't a ton of time for Barton to really set up and reach the top of his drop. Yeah, I mean, once the second he did plant his feet, he was clobbered, so can't blame him too much for that. But now Fresno State has this one going the other way, and Newman wastes no time hitting Crenshaw once again. So another nice reception here for Fresno State, as they are looking to answer back or add some points following our turnover on down. So 3rd and 5 for the Bulldogs here. It's going to be a handoff to Adam Roll, and he, with a nice spin move, is able to at least get close to the first down sticks, as Daniel Haley was able to bring him down. They're going to say he was brought down short, so nice on Haley to prevent the first down here, and that's going to force a field goal for Fresno State. A very, very big call here, because that could potentially have been a huge mood swing in the tone of this game here. Touchdown makes it a completely different ball game, and now we have this one going the other way, and a tipped pass still finds its way to Max Price's hands, or Thomas Sample's hands, excuse me. A tipped pass finds its way into Thomas Sample's hands. I have no idea how. We're just gonna roll with that. So 3rd and 1 now for the Crimson Tide. Not running for it. We're gonna try and throw for it, and it's Thomas Samples again who gets tackled closer back to the marker, but he definitely catches it well past. So it's gonna be a first down for the Crimson Tide, and we're gonna continue moving here. If we can score at least maybe a touchdown here, I would feel pretty good. But there's still a whole quarter left, so we got to continue this momentum on offense. And Brian Barton, man, makes a pretty late pass. Man, he took forever to make that decision. I saw what he saw. He was definitely open, but he was open maybe a second or two before Brian Barton threw it. So that was a bad late pass here. A couple bad mistakes here from Barton, unfortunately, after such a great game against Texas. But we were still in the lead here, and we still have an opportunity. Fresno State was unable to score on that opportunity, so we were moving the other way. And Barton with a prayer of a ball to Andrew Solomon, another player on this team who had a great game last week against Texas. Finally gets his name called in this video. I don't think we've called him outside of an incomplete pass. So he finally gets himself a completion in this game here that's going to get us just inside the red zone. So at the 20-yard line here, 1st and 10 for the Crimson Tide. Barton back to pass again, throws it to that same side, and it's Andrew Solomon once again who fumbles the football. And we are now, man, letting the turnovers consume us. It is only a 10-point game, and we cannot afford to be making those kinds of mistakes right now, especially against an opponent like this. And Andrew Solomon, man, such a terrible, terrible mistake to make as he fumbles the football deep in Fresno State's end. But again, the Bulldogs can't do anything with it. So on 3rd and 3 here, we're going to go with a handoff to the fullback, and he's going to fumble, man. He's going to fumble. So Robbie Tanner fumbles now, and we've got so many. Bro, we have to be the most fumbling team in the country right now. We had 5 against Texas. We only lost 2, but we had 5. And we've already got like 2 or 3 now. So, I mean, just, it is ridiculous. And now Fresno State looking to finally get some points here and answer. And Newman takes all day to make a decision, but he eventually does. I think it's Colin Galloway who manages to nail downfield. And that's going to get Fresno State now in Crimson Tide territory after taking about 7 years to make that call. He eventually does. And hey, if you got the time to do it, eventually guys are going to get open. That's how football works. So Newman again going to try and go through the air, and in a whole mess of players, he's going to hit Galloway once again. That was a very, very close and very dangerous play to make, but Galloway able to haul it in. And so now it's going to be 1st and goal for the Bulldogs here from about the 9-yard line. And Newman finally going to hand this one off here to roll, and a whole mess of players redirects and gets brought down in the end zone for a touchdown. So after futzing around for the entire second half, struggling to get any sort of momentum, and finally getting some momentum and just turning the ball over multiple times, Fresno State finally answers back, and now we have to struggle a little bit here, guys. We have to struggle a little bit. It's only a 3-point game with 3 minutes, so this drive is everything. Already at midfield, Barton lays one out here along the sideline, and it's going to be Barker, the freshman, and they're going to say that he's in. I mean, obviously the mascot is celebrating, which I know he has a name. I got to look that up. It's like an owl. Is it Al the Elephant or something like that? I don't know. I'll look it up. I'll look it up for the next video, I promise. But either way, it is the freshman Stephen Barker, the new 89 on the team, who finally gets us a nice little boost here along the sideline. And Dimitri Gleeman on an option pitch here. That time it doesn't go for very much. After earlier in the game, we had the touchdown run from Lehman, but it is enough for the 1st down. So it will continue the drive, and that's all we need right now. So 1st and 10 for the Crimson Tide from about the 15. Barton back to pass. Under 2 minutes here. Takes a shot towards the corner of the end zone, and it's going to be caught for another Crimson Tide touchdown. And I didn't see who it was. It looked like Stephen Barker again. We might get we might get a replay of it, or no, but there is Stephen Barker, so yeah, I think it was his catch. So Stephen Barker, the freshman, getting involved here late in this drive, and that is a not a go-ahead drive, we were already up, but it's a huge drive. So on 3rd and 11 now, Harold Frazier nearly comes down with another interception as Newman just kind of laying this one up here as a prayer. It's prayer ball right now, it's where we're at. So 4th and 11, Fresno State down to potentially their last chance on offense. Newman back to pass here, gets rid of it quickly here, and it is going to be caught, but immediately out of bounds is Jamar Heath, the sophomore for Fresno State. He had no chance to turn upfield and get towards the sticks. That's a turnover on downs. So on 3rd and 1 here, just to put a statement on it, Lehman once again finds some open space, much like in the Texas game, and just, trying to run some clock out, and Lehman instead gets into the end zone and adds an insurance score for the Crimson Tide, and that should just about do it for the Bulldogs. The goose is cooked, okay? Their T-bone steaks have been stolen by us. We ate them, okay? We've beaten the Bulldogs, the pride of the WAC, of the Western American Conference, Western Athletic Conference, the pride. We've managed to beat them. The national champion, defending national champions, have been felted. The runners-up to the national championship also have been felted. So if there's any sort of statement victory that we could have had that proves to the rest of the country that we are the best team in it, this should have been it. So obviously we have to still play the #1 team in the country after this, but I think we've done enough to at least prove ourselves in this manner. So once again, another game where we both run and throw pretty consistently, well over 100 rushing yards for the 2nd straight time, which is just great, man. It is just... That is great to see. I love seeing this team run somewhat efficiently. I still don't think we'll ever be, in the top echelon of rushing teams in the country, but as long as we can at least be, good at it. I mean, just at the bare minimum, just be good at it and not terrible as a running team. relying on 40 to 50 yards a game from the running back, I think we'll be all right. And Ryan Barton with the bad interception, that's a bad look, but still a good game. Dimitri Lehman with 3 touchdowns in this game. I think he had 3 against Texas, so I think he's got 6 on the year heading into our next matchup. So that's a brutal, brutal thing to look towards if you're JJ Wright. So because I think he's firmly lost that job officially. So we do pick up a humongous win over Kentucky. We never watched this game because it never matters. Kentucky sucks always. I'm sorry if you're a Kentucky fan. I'm sorry. Have a better team. I don't know what to tell you. But that's going to put us right in to our next game against the #1 ranked team in the country, the Virginia Tech Hokies, who have national title hopes. So do we, and we're probably going to try and end them for the Hokies in the next video. So hope to see you guys there when we play Virginia Tech.